Early on in 2020, before the pandemic hit, I was having a conversation with one of our patrons who is a really keen supporter of the arts in Yorkshire, and they were thinking about acquiring some new artworks for their new home. So we had a conversation then about they could be commissions rather than just bought off the shelf, and they got really excited about that. So the open call went out in spring and we did the selection in summer, and we had over 200 entries. So it was a completely open brief, but people had to be based in Yorkshire.
When I came to do this piece, I was really inspired by going out on walks to Stanage Edge and rock formations and the colours within the rock formations as well.
Natalie was amazing in her proposal, that she'd taken into account the way the light moved around the site. She'd really researched the wind conditions, and so her proposal was absolutely bespoke to that situation. And we just really loved her approach to ceramic and the firing and the surface detail.
So we'd made this maquette, and then we did a technical proposal to see if we could actually build it in large scale. And in our complete naivety, we thought we could build this sculpture originally at 3 metres high, which really turned out to be not the case. So we then downsized it to 2 metres, so each cube would be able to go in the metre square kiln. At that stage, we also realised the weight of each cube would be way too much to actually put in a kiln that was in a small workshop. We realised we had to go commercial.
The idea of doing a sculpture in Yorkshire ticked a lot of boxes. I think clay runs deep in our veins, and when we were approached as to whether we wanted to contribute, we said absolutely, it's completely our bag. What it allowed us to do is sort of activate and re-energise some of those traditional skills that we've got within the business, and use those in pursuit of something which was interesting and attractive and one-off in nature.
They put one of their technicians in charge of that, Dave, who was brilliant, and we made the first cube. Then there were different problems with the drying and the process, things like that, and we found that when that was in drying, a crack appeared. The cracks reopened. We did mend this and we thought it had sealed up again, but obviously in the kiln it's slightly opened. The difficulties we're having at the moment is the kilns here do not fire to the same temperature as a normal kiln that a ceramic artist would use. So we're having to go with a specific type of glaze, which is an engo, and probably a bit unpredictable results. So at the moment we are just experimenting. We've tried done the test tiles. Hopefully it will work. If not, we'll have to modify with paint towards the end. So now we're just choking on the outlines that we want and then going over with thin layers of the paint. After that, we'll highlight with a glaze that's going to give a bit more of a sheen just to certain areas where the sun might catch the sculpture. The second cube was way more successful because we'd learned from the errors of the first cube. So we had to rethink the design. It's just come out of the kiln. This version has worked way better, and I think it's because it was built in a different way. So you can see that goes in more than the bottom one, and there are less supportive ribs in there. Whereas in the bottom cube, there were a lot of supportive ribs inside, and that was pushing the clay out. The glazes worked better. It was put on in a thicker manner. The colour's just how I wanted it, and it's got some really interesting places where it's speckled, which reflects the raku fired of the glaze of the original piece. In the end, we decided to just use the top half of the cube and put it on a piece of natural York stone, which fitted in with the whole idea of it being nature and with what the end client had already.
It's really brilliant that the Sculpture Park and our expertise, our technical support, our curatorial support, can give an artist that opportunity and the confidence to really be that ambitious.
I've learnt to be more confident in my own abilities, and overall the process has been really good. I've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed meeting new people, working with different people, and actually seeing how enthusiastic people are.
It's just been a really fantastic project to work on.